Hey, I'm John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty, and this is my market report for Lake Martin, Alabama for April of 2021. Here's all my info. You can find me at Lake Martin Voice Realty online, my website, and Instagram. All right, so what has happened so far with home sales? We knew that 2020 was the best year ever for Lake Martin, so what's going on in 2021? So far, let's take a look here and see what sales are. Now, these are monthly sales for April. And what we see is that last year we had 30 sales in the month of April in 2020. And this year we've got 33 sales. So we are up 10% from last year. And then how does that compare to the 5-year average? The 5-year average is about 29 home sales in the month of April. April is a month where, because it starts warming up, people typically start seasonally buying more houses at Lake Martin. As we saw last year in 2020, with the corona effect, we saw summer-like sales all through the year, but April traditionally is a month where it's popping up. And so we can also see that in 2020, it was right at the 5-year average for April. So the corona effect had not really started for waterfront home sales in April of 2020. Obviously, this year, living with 33 sales, we're up 10%. We're up 10% from our 5-year average. So far, and also we're up 14. That's up 14% from our 5-year average. So 2021 so far is beating the prior year, which, in my book, is pretty much the telltale sign of an increasing market. Okay, so that's monthly numbers. How does the year-to-date look? Year-to-date is even more of a stark situation of an increasing market. All right, so in 2020, through all 4 months, year-to-date, through the end of April, there were 92 sales. How are we doing in 2021? All right, right now we're in a rising 113 sales in the 4 months ended April 30th, 2021, and that's about 23% above the prior year. Again, for perspective, what do we look at for our 5-year average? Our 5-year average is about 89 homes for sale. And so we're about 27% above our 5-year average year-to-date home sales numbers through the end of April. Now, this is all agents, all brokerages over the entire lake. I'm getting these numbers from the Lake Martin MLS. So this doesn't include FSBOs, but I think it is it shows the general trend of what's going on. So 23% above the prior year, and the prior year being the best year ever. So how does inventory play into this? We have seen inventory numbers really change and really get pretty crazy. So this time last year, there were about, this time last year, there were about 218 homes for sale on the market in April of 20. That's 20. All right, right now we have 91. So we have another severe decrease in inventory. That is about a 58% drop of inventory. And what's our 5-year average? What normally, and again, in April we didn't have the corona effect, okay? But just look at our 5-year average. Normally in April, we have about 287 waterfront homes for sale on the entire lake, all price ranges, all brokerages. Right now we have 91. And so, my math here is, it's 68% down from our 5-year average. So that's how far, we only have 30% basically of our inventory that we normally have right now. Also, another way to look at this is month supply. And month supply is a stat that a lot of markets look at because it combines sales and inventory. And what they're doing here is they're saying, if you take the number of homes for sale and you divide it by this month's sales, how many months do we have of inventory? In other words, if you keep on selling at this same inventory rate with this same inventory, I didn't say that right. If you keep on selling at this same sales rate with this inventory, when are you going to run out of homes? Right now, it's pretty easy numbers with 33 sales into 91. That's almost 3, or about 2.8 months of inventory. And so right here last year, it was at 7.3. So it has decreased 62%. What's our 5-year average? Our 5-year average is up here, 10.5 homes per sale. So it's down 74% from our, so that's another big, huge decrease. It's common sense. Excuse me. Supply is way down, sales are way up, and so this month's of supply is going to shrink to 2.8. All right, so that's not surprising. And so now let's look at lots. Lots got really interesting to me too. First, let's look at lot. We got sales on this side and we got inventory on that side. I'm trying to combine them in two graphs, or excuse me, combine the two in one graph. All right, so what happened to lot sales so far in April? And this is year to date. These are year to date numbers I'm about to give you. Again, all brokerages everywhere. All right, so in 2020, our lot sales for the 4 months were 14 sales. And that's pre-corona. So far this year, in 2021, we have 42 sales. So lot sales are up 300% from last year, year to date. 14 to 42, 4 months ended April 21. And if you think about it, these 14 lot sales for 2020 really were pre-corona, because anybody that's closing in April is going to probably be under contract in February or so, and so the real panic had not hit yet, or the real enthusiasm had not hit yet, however you want to say it. So we're up 300% from the prior year. It'll be interesting to see if we continue to beat the prior year, that same kind of numbers. I don't think we are, because of this next number, inventory. All right, let's look at inventory. Okay, this time last year we had, and this is kind of a little bit inconsistent because this is a May number, but we had 69 lots for sale in May of in May of 20. Right now we have 37. So the story is the same with lots. That's a decrease of about 47%, excuse me. So round numbers, we have about half the number of lots for sale now compared to last year. What about our 5-year numbers? Our 5-year trend of inventory is about 106 lots for sale, and so right now we are down about 65% from our 5-year. Just for funsies, I looked at 2019, and we had 121 waterfront lots for sale in April of 2019. Maybe that's May of 2019. Anyway, my point is this. 2019 was not a good year for lot sales. 2020 was not a good year for lot sales until Corona hit. So if there's anybody out there that thinks, well, lot sales weren't really all that affected by Corona, I beg to differ. The numbers tell a different story. Your inventory is way down. Your sales are 300% up. And so I think Corona has as big an impact as it had at home sales. I think it had even bigger impact and a positive for sellers when it comes to lots. All right, what's the 5-year average? Yeah, just again for comparison, I like to look at this. The 5-year average for sales is about 18 waterfront lots through the end of February. So that's up 233% where we are here from our 5-year average. So any way you spin it, whatever stats you want to look at, sales 300% up, inventory basically half of what we had last year, and 65% or 35% of what we normally have. Huge, huge numbers for your lots. It'll be interesting to see how it continues, but I don't think it's going to continue like this because we're running out of inventory. I mean, how are you going to continue to sell 3 times the amount of lots with 1/3 of the inventory? It's a huge imbalance, but we'll see. I've learned to kind of be modest with my predictions. All right, so that's so far what we have for April of 2021. Here's another stat that I did in a separate video the other day, but I want to emphasize it here too. When I was looking up all these numbers, there are 318 members of the Lake Martin MLS, participants. And there are, right now, when I'm filming this, about 44 waterfront homes for sale that are not under contract. If you look at the numbers, there's maybe like something like 90, but half of those are under contract. So if you divide the number of MLS participants by the number of homes not under contract, you come to 7.2 agents per home for sale on the entire lake. That's pretty nutty. I think that's going to be a very big factor going forward for this year. If I'm a seller, if I'm a seller, I'm looking at that number and realizing that even more than normal, a small number of highly dedicated agents are going to do the majority of selling on Lake Martin. I do think you're going to have a lot of these. A lot of these folks are watered down. A lot of these numbers are watered down because you have out-of-area agents. But it's going to be an interesting trend to see if, fast forward 6-8 months into the future, if the agents that haven't been making sales and are kind of either halfway into our market or whatever, don't have the marketing budget to pull this off. Because if you've got 7 agents fighting over each listing, it's going to get tough. It'll be interesting to watch. I sell here at Lake Martin full time. I'd love to help you outsell yours. I'm seeing that this market, we're continuing to see crazy trends with pricing and also improvements. I'd love to advise you, even if you don't want to sell, I can tell you, hey, here's what I think it would sell for. No sweat, no pressure. If you are a buyer, you need help. You need help. I realize that buyers are getting into the habit of calling 7 agents at a time and asking if they have listings coming up. I can see why they would do that. I mean, that might be the thing you think you can take action and do, but it's kind of like chasing the white whale. You're always looking at the horizon and you're going to miss what's right in front of you, okay? So my advice would be to stick with one agent and pair up with him or her. Obviously, I'd love to help you out do that too. My name is John Coley. I'm with Lake Martin Voice Realty, and I'd love to help you out. Please give me a call. Thanks.